Welcome to this week's edition of Jackals TV. And this week we'll be checking out highlights from the latest edition of the rivalry between the Minnesota Knighthawks and the Jackals. This will be the third time already this year they've played each other, and they met last year in the finals in the playoffs. So let's head down to the ice and see how this edition went. The first two games of the year, a win in overtime for the Jackals and another outright win for the Jackals. This week we have a new editor on board that's helping us out with the highlights. Let's check in and see how he's doing. Yep, working hard, and welcome aboard, Lou. Thanks for your assistance. Back down to the ice, we see the Jackals in their familiar white jerseys with black and blue trim against the Knighthawks in their orange jerseys with blue and white trim. Let's head to the first period highlights. The Knighthawks come out hot here to start after three straight losses to the Jackals. We see them come around from behind the net there, put a backhand on net that Trevor's able to save. Here we see them win a draw, put the shot wide, but the puck goes over to the corner and there's a player all alone in front. He picks it up, sweeps it on the backhand, and it hops up and over Trevor's leg, and it's an early lead for the Knighthawks, 1-0. The Jackals try to answer quickly here. We see David at the point, put it hard on the net. It hops over to Darshan on the side there. He takes a crack at it, but it won't go in and stumbles in the corner, and it remains 1-0 for the Knighthawks. Here we see Bob jumping up in the play, cutting through to the middle, 1-on-4. Gets a good look at the far side there. Goaltender comes across and makes a save, and on the breakout the other way, Bruce gets a stick into the feet there and ends up taking a penalty, and the Jackals have to go on the penalty kill. Here we see the Knighthawks trying to stretch that lead. They're coming in, going wide there, putting a puck up high that Trevor bats down and keeps away, and they end up killing that penalty off. Here we see back the other way, Darryl puts it right through the crease there where Bob isn't. He's unable to get a stick on it to direct it into the empty net there. Here we see off the shot from the side there, Bruce takes down the player in front of the net, ends up getting another penalty for that. That's two penalties by Bruce early in the first period here, and he's on penalty watch for his third to potentially be ejected from the game. The Jackals do manage to kill that penalty, and here we see them a little bit later putting the puck out to the point there on the offense. It hops over Bob's stick, and that's a race the other way for the Knighthawks. Bruce is trying to catch up. Watch out, don't take that third penalty. He manages to avoid it. Trevor makes the save on the player cutting to the backhand, and it remains 1-0. We see a nice little pass up to Jer here from Gary. Gary cuts to the middle, breaks in alone, gets a shot off there, but the goaltender turns it aside, and that ends the first period 1-0 for the Knighthawks. Here the Jackals are on the power play early in the second period, but Bob has a turnover along the wall, and the player races away with it down the middle, gets another backhand shot off there, but Trevor makes the save and prevents the shorthanded goal. There you see Gary knocking that puck down there at the point and putting it on net, and it's loose there, and Darshan's trying to get control of it. Darryl swoops in and gets it, peels away, cuts through the middle. There's a lot of traffic in front, just throws it there, and it's in the net before the goaltender even knows the shot is coming, and the Jackals have tied this one up 1-1. Next, we see Darwin winding up within his own end here, looking to give the Jackals a lead, going in 1-on-3, splits through them all, cuts back across, manages to lose control of it though there at the very end and can't bury it. That leads to a puck in the corner that gets flipped up high through the middle. Bob a little nonchalant to coming back to it, and then realizes he's in a foot race and has to get tied up there. Trevor makes the save, and Bob clears the puck, and the player comes back at him, gives him a cross-check in the back, and that's going to earn him a 4-minute penalty. So the Jackals going to go on the power play here for 4 minutes. Here we see them on that power play, down deep, put it out front to Rob. He manages to pull it back to his forehand, but can't get a shot off on net. It goes a little bit wide. A little bit later, on the penalty kick still, Knighthawks get a turnover at the point and try to go back with it, but Gary, with some good hard work, strips him of the puck, goes back the other way, but you saw there along the wall, Jer tripped the player there, a little bit inadvertent, but it's still a penalty, and we move to the third period. And here we see a penalty get drawn there. Looks like Darwin got a high stick, and that's going to be on the power play for the Jackals. Here we see a point shot that gets tipped just wide by Aaron. He manages to keep it in there, knocks it down, delays, holds on for a bit, feeds it to Rob in the Draisaitl spot, one-timer in the net, power play goal, 2-1 for the Jackals. And here's more from the Jackals. We see Bruce with a really nice indirect pass off the wall there that goes to Darshan. He puts it up to Daryl, who goes wide. Darshan goes hard to the net, stick on the ice. Daryl puts the puck off the pads. Nice little pass to Darshan off the pads, and he taps it in with the backhand, silky mitt style, and it's 3-1 now for the Jackals. The Knighthawks here trying to find a response to get this back to a one-goal game. Watch Daryl there on the back check. Can become important there behind the net. The play goes out to the point, and you see there he gets his legs swept out from underneath him there. Meanwhile, Jarrett's coming down the other way, going wide on the side there, manages to slip that through the goaltender to make it 4-1. Well, there's a brouhaha at center that most people are paying attention to, and even missing the goal happening at the other end. We looked in the middle there. Gary Pabla got involved, and there's a lot of discussion about who's a dirty player and who isn't. But we saw the slew foot there. We know who it is. It's going to be discussion back and forth between the players as they make their way slowly to the penalty box. Knighthawks, not sure what they're complaining about there. It was clearly a dirty player by the Nighthawk to hook Daryl's leg and pull it out from under him there. There you see the refs listening to that and decided that there's not enough time left in this game to have to worry about it. They're going to give both players game ejections, and you see a little bit of sniping still happening on the way off the ice there. They'll discuss it in the hallways, and we'll move on back to this game. We see the Knighthawks coming in for a chance, cutting across here, delaying, picking the top corner there over the blocker. Pretty nice shot. It's 4-2 with about 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. Not a lot of time, but the Knighthawks are really going to try and make this one interesting. Here you see them go behind the net there. There's a holding penalty, gets drawn. Player falls down. Puck comes back to the guy behind the net there. David takes a little shot to knock him down there, and that's going to mean 2 penalties on the Jackals. So with just under 2 minutes left to play in the game, they're going to be 5-on-3 here. We see the Knighthawks trying to make something happen. A good block there by Rob, but they regain the puck, reset, put it back to the far side. Puck gets thrown to the middle, tipped again by Rob wide, but they maintain possession, put it outside there. Then they use some east-west passing here to get a couple good chances. There's a good chance off the backhand. Trevor swats it to the corner. They keep coming on that 5-on-3, taking a couple more chances there, putting it out to 26 on the point. Takes the shot. It bounces right over to the unchecked player. What can you do there? It's 6-on-3 because they had pulled the goalie. There's going to be a lot of players open there, and they managed to put it in. But that was how it ended. Here we see the final face-off with only 10 seconds left after that goal. There's a win by Jer, and the puck gets shot down the ice, and the Jackals hold on to win this one 4-3. So here's the scores from last week. In addition to that 4-3, you see a big win by the Three Bears over the Garbage Men, who've been really struggling as of late. Now on a 3-game losing streak. So let's have a look now at the standings. You can see that the Jackals have vaulted into second place, still trailing the Three Bears, who they'll play next week. Get a little bit of extra space between them and the Garbage Men there, who fall into 500. Actually be less than that without that point that's mistakenly awarded to them in the standings there. So going into next week, let's see what the matchups will be. The Jackals will get a chance to gain some ground on the Three Bears if they can manage to win that game. And then the Knighthawks will have a chance to try and pass the Garbage Men into third place. Thanks a lot, folks. That's it for this week. We'll see you for next week's game.